content is for informational and educational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever by Draper Gorin Blockchain, aka DGB, the presenter, or other associated parties for the content being provided. Please do your own due diligence and seek proper counsel.
Boom! Welcome to another exciting week. Of course, the second we go live, I get like a text, and I forgot to hit do not disturb. But welcome to everyone who's joining. It looks like we got people piling in, which is awesome. I'm super stoked for today because we got Kris with us, who I haven't got to hang with in a few weeks, but always exciting to do a live stream, and especially when we get to hang and talk about gaming and Web3 and all that stuff. And Dogami is, of course, one of my favorites. And so I'm stoked. I literally, Rankin, we don't talk much about the live streams before the live streams, and we probably should. Like, we need to prepare a little more in terms of, like, doing it more than the morning of. But literally, like, yesterday we texted about it, and I'm like, and I straight up said, like, I'm super excited for this one. And I think it's it's really casual, and I'm excited for all of them. But when the topic is gaming, it's even more fun because I've been finding ways to make it about gaming even when it's not lately. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
So it's good time. So Kris, welcome. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. I'm very happy to be here. As usual, I always enjoy hanging out with you and David and having a bit of a chat. So it's super cool to be here, and it feels like it's with the family, So
that's right.
That makes it easygoing and very enjoyable. So yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for having Dogami. Appreciate it.
Of course. I think right when I'm getting like a weird flashback right now, which is kind of funny to remember. Rankin, one of the first weeks we were testing the stream, we didn't prepare anything, which is not that abnormal, especially at the beginning days while we were still figuring shit out. But we ended up spending the whole hour plus playing the Dogami experience on the sandbox. Remember? We literally, like, our minds were blown, and then we just sat for an hour, like, kind of half talking, but more distracted, and just streaming, playing the game, which was super, super fun.
Amazing.
Yeah. One quick thing.
This is why we're not doing Twitch streams.
we should do like a weekly, like, hang stream that has no
weekly
agenda.
Roblox hang?
Yeah, it's gonna go Roblox.
What shall we do next?
Come give us your pitch in Roblox.
Roblox pitches, dude. Total side thing. So I was literally about to go into, like, officially talking about things and putting things on the screen that I need to say, but before I do that, Roblox. It's really interesting, right? Because it's very not Web3. It seems like the community in the past, like, they haven't allowed it in a while, but a couple of years ago, they did allow some Web3 hooks in there, and the community went nuts on them. It was too early for mainstream, especially for people to let their kids participate in, because parents were freaking out. But my kids and I have had some Roblox ideas and things lately, and have been playing in Roblox Studio. And actually, one of the things I was doing this weekend, I wasn't going to say this out loud, but you just triggered it, is I have like a game in there that I'm going to switch the account. So it may, in the next, if you're not watching this live, in the next week or so, it might go dark and then come back whenever I have time to play with it, probably next weekend with the kids. I have a Punk Ape Strong experience in Roblox. That's just a fun thing where I experiment with my kids. But we've been playing with the 3D files and figuring out how to, like, make statues of him in the game and actually make, like, avatars of him and stuff like that. And one of the only other 3D files I have on my computer is of one of my dogs from Dogami, because I found back in the day, I don't know if it's still possible, but back in the day when you guys first launched, I did the thing where you inspect the code of the website and you start digging through, and I found one of the 3D files in the code.
GLB files.
Yeah, the GLB file. I downloaded it and I put it into one of the Punk Ape Strong videos I had made in the past. Like,
amazing.
It was probably like 2 years ago now. I don't even know when it was.
Yeah,
but I had that on my computer. And so what I was trying to figure out is not just how to have a statue of my dog in the Roblox game, but I'm trying to make him animated too. So he's running around the game and stuff. As you run around, you might just see the dog running by, which is good.
That's crazy.
And
you know what we need? We need 3D files of our dogs.
Well, that's what I just said. I figured out how to hack it. I wasn't gonna tell
Alon hacked Dogami. That's all I'm hearing.
hey, I'm a big fan of people finding ways to hack your favorite things and then promote them in different ways, right? As long as the hacking isn't malicious in any way. But it's fun because it's I think it's this, things you could do with digital goods and digital assets and just digital things you have and things you play with that you can't do physically, right? Like if I had a physical trading card or a physical, action figure, it would be fun. I'd be able to play with my friends, play with my kids, display it on a shelf. But to be able to put it into an experience that then could potentially have thousands, millions of people play and see is a totally different kind of bragging, right?
That's just it though, right? Like when we were younger and people actually went to each other's houses, like you would bring your toy and you'd play with your friend with your toy and his toy and you'd play together. Well, on a digital space, it's kind of hard to do that. Unless you have digital toys.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's a part that could potentially be, well, that's the main goal, right, of Web3. It's enabling that to happen to users, and I don't think we're far off. The problem is you're always going to be, unless you're in a place like the Sandbox or Roblox, which is multi-IP, and the idea is to see different shapes and forms of characters across the plane and to be able to interact with that. That's very cool. What's difficult in other platforms, like for example ours, is how do you integrate that other IP in your environment and make it feel kind of authentic. So that's why I'm pretty, I find it pretty cool that we have these platforms that are there just for experimentation and just for play. Like what Seb Bourget is doing, or the guys at Roblox. I think that's pretty cool because it allows for those moments to happen, right? And this is what we're all trying to achieve.
I think there has to be a moment where Web3 becomes like the standard, right? Where if you own an asset in a Roblox game, you own that asset, right?
Yeah.
And that's Web3, whether it's how the token works and whatever blockchain and backend system, whatever, but you own an asset, And if somebody wants to trade it or with another person, I think that openness is what's going to be necessary long-term for
it's this transition phase, right? Where we're in that transition phase where we're having to use the lingo or to over-articulate the technology or speak about the technology versus speaking about the experience all the time. Because until a long time ago, people didn't know that they didn't own their digital assets. They're like, okay, I just bought the album on the Apple Store and now it's mine. Well, no, it's not. And I think now we're in the transition of saying, well, guess what? You don't own it, and but you can own it thanks to Web3, and you start explaining the technology when the masses don't really care about the tech behind. That should be corporate talk from business to business, and the experience should be Web3 enabled, and here you go using the word again. It should be just enabling the tools that Web3 have developed for users without even talking about.
Well, that's the thing, right? You ask to here's like a two-parter in one talking about Roblox, right? Developers on Roblox hate the way the economy works there, because Roblox takes a cut from them. Right, like if I buy something for 100 Robux from Kris, he'll get, I think it's 70, right? So hey, that sounds somewhat fair. I'm building on their environment. They're taking a cut, fine. But then when I take my Robux and I want it to be dollars, I also and want to take it off the platform, I pay a second fee. That's very high as well. So it's actually worse than what everyone was freaking out over, the Apple App Store kind of monopoly of fees back in the day. And they fought back, and it's better now, but it's still not great. That's what's happening with Roblox. There's people are getting taxed kind of twice by the system. Then when they get the dollars, they get taxed by their government, like a normal paycheck, right? So it feels like young developers are getting this super harsh lesson in what happens when you build for a specific, platform or whatever. You have to play the rules of that platform. And no developers like it, but you ask them, why aren't you going to Web3? Why aren't you building for the Sandbox or Decentraland or one of the other ones? And they go, there's no users there. Like they literally,
That's true.
There's absolutely no users there in their opinion, right? And it's really hard to do what you're doing, right? And go, we're going to actually build our own app, have our own IP, our own platform, our own thing. It's much easier for, it's literally like the WordPress of playing a game is how I think about Roblox, because anything, I'm not very technical and I could build a game. Anything I want to learn, I could Google Roblox Studio, how to do X, and there's probably 3 tutorial videos I could watch and learn how to do it, right? So it's the easiest way to get in and start doing these things. There's millions of people playing every single day. It's a huge place. And but the second part is, okay, they're building there because of the users. The second part is, though, if you ask any kid who plays Roblox about, or you just poke the bear a little bit and you go, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could take your pet simulator diamonds or pets and trade them for the new game you've been playing? This thing. And it doesn't matter if you're an 8-year-old or a 13-year-old or somewhere in between. My nephew, who's not even 10 years old yet, like his eyes got this big and he's like, it's not fair. I have all these pets and I play this other game and I want to trade it for the thing. And I paid money for that. And I spent hours doing it. And like, they're having the same feelings that we have with the Web3 stuff, or they understand this Web3 is the solution to their problem, but they're trapped in this Roblox environment where they can't do it yet. They're going to graduate. They're going to graduate at some point.
We're entering a paradigm shift. Right. I mean, literally, this is a paradigm shift. We grew up, Alon. I mean, we're older, so we're aging ourselves, but we grew up in these digital economies where we didn't own anything. Everything was in the game. Our data wasn't owned. Our data's with Facebook. It's with Google. It's with these entities. I mean, I'll say, like 3 months ago, I lost my Apple account because my phone was SIM swapped, and I can't recover my Apple account. All my digital assets that Apple owns that I purchased through Apple are gone. 10 years worth of music I've purchased in movies. Not happy about it, right? And the thing is this goes back to the importance of Web3 and actually owning your digital assets. And there is this paradigm shift that most of the US and most of the world is kind of slow on. They haven't grasped it because they've been so sheltered and brainwashed into believing, oh, I'm okay with having other people hold my assets for me. But eventually kids start realizing, wait, I can't take my stuff from one game to the other. And then all of a sudden you see something like Web3, where all of a sudden now you have the ability to take my Bored Ape asset that I have and bring it over to Roblox, or bring it into another game, or because of Web3, because I actually have ownership of that IP. And it's going to be this paradigm shift for people going, wait a second, I don't have to have another company own my data, and I can actually own my own data and then generate revenue off of that. And that's going to create this whole entire wave of people eventually coming to the space and actually being responsible for what they own. And which I think is going to be awesome. It's a revolution in my point to some extent.
Definitely.
1,000%. And there's so many opportunities. And I think that for me, I look at because I was talking about building on Roblox, is hey, there is a place where people exist today, or at least there's these incumbents in these game systems and, places for people to goof around. And I look at it as a sandbox for us to throw in some of that IP, test some ideas, goof around with an existing user base, and that we know are going to graduate to us. And I don't think those existing platforms are going to be fast enough in adopting this stuff to be a meaningful player. I think that they might at some point, but I think somebody's going to come up like a Sandbox or whatever and potentially replace them along the way, or many versions of it. But I don't know yet. But it's still a fun place to take your IP, play around, goof around, and it's easier to build in. It's cheap, it's free, right? And you can have some fun. But let's go to the evolution of that, right? Like let's go to Dogami. We didn't even yet just ask Kris. For people who haven't, we've got I think we're getting into a few hundred people on the stream, but we're gonna have this going, available for a long time. But I would love, for people who aren't regulars, give your background a little bit. But let's jump into what's the latest with Dogami, and then I know there's a bunch of topics to hit around the game itself, IP, the token, my CEO Kris. I love it. And let's jump in and tie it to some of these rabbit holes we're going down on that side, on the web.
I think there's a demo for us too today.
Yeah, we got a demo also. We got a lot we can hit and talk about. But first, Kris, give people who aren't regulars your background, and then let's jump into Dogami.
Sure, with pleasure. So I'm one of three co-founders of Dogami. I'm followed by Max, our CFO, and Adrian, our COO. We're all from different walks of earth. Adrian is serial entrepreneur since the 1990s in media. His last exit was a successful exit of a Web2 media around the pet industry called Whammies, which he sold to Nestle Purina. So he already had a lot of kind of history on pet ownership, had the right contacts around pet ownership, had built a beautiful community in Web2 around pet ownership. And he saw Web3 being a more engaged community in which we could develop. In comes Max. He's our numbers guy and our legal guy, ex BCG. He helps us navigate the business world in a way that's understandable to the business people. And I'm kind of the Dr. Jekyll and Hyde crazy creative director and CEO. So I've spent most of my life in different industries, the largest part in the film industry. So I'm the independent film company. We produced 3 films that went theatrical and distributed worldwide. And we got a great return on investment on those. Spent a lot of time at Sony Pictures. And then went into the luxury industry, but I couldn't escape the entertainment industry because I was in a luxury group and I was in charge of partnerships and did a lot of partnerships with anime, but also worked with Rock Nation, so Jay-Z's agency, on product placement, as well as putting products on shows like Selling Sunset on Netflix and things like that. So ultimately came back into the entertainment industry. And so we had first discussions about Dogami. There was, to one extent, bringing pet ownership to Web3. To the other, there was gaming, and on the other, there was building an original IP that could cross over into different types of media. So, a transmedia kind of IP. And we're like, you know what, the 3 ingredients are there, and let's go build Dogami out of that. So if we were to sum up what Dogami is a family-friendly IP, which is at the crossroads of Pokemon meets Paw Patrol, but powered by Web3. So effectively what we're trying to do is deliver products that speak to multi-generational audiences. So that's the family father, but as well the kids. It also speaks to those that are looking for that escapism, to dive into a world of entertainment where everything feels original and authentic, something we have never seen before, touched before. And to that, we're bringing the element of this relationship that humanity has had with this pet that we call dogs, that we love and adore and can't live without, into the mix. So that's us. And what we developed off the bat and how we enable our products to be Web3 is we released three things to date. That is our token, which is the DOGA. The token acts as an enabler, for co-creation and to purchase goods in the goods. So it's a governance token and an ecosystem token in a way. So what happens is, by holding tokens, our super fans can help us co-create the features that we're going to do tomorrow and help upvote in the future those co-creation aspects. It also allows them to be rewarded for their input in the game itself. It allowed you to purchase your NFTs. So to date, we've sold, I think it's about 24,000 NFTs, which all sold out. Those are, I think, 20 breeds of different Dogamis. So Dogamis are these mystical dogs, which each have their own abilities and skills that are tied to their uniqueness. And the third thing, which I'm really excited about because it's just come out of early access and beta, is DOGAMÍ Academy. So DOGAMÍ Academy kind of brings all these products that we had created to date, gives utility to the token for allowing you to purchase in-app, but also allow you to purchase special offers through the marketplace to use in DOGAMÍ Academy. But it's also there that you can fully release the potential of the Dogami that you adopted. So your NFT in-app. So basically everything from personalities to the skills to skill ranks to powers that were tied to the metadata of the NFT has a utility directly in-game, so that you can compete against other community members and in the future other players.
But you also, if you want, you can get the app, the DOGAMÍ Academy app, and use it if you don't have the NFTs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole point of creating this type of product was to create a product that had mass market appeal. And if you want to be able to talk to mass market audiences, the first thing that you have to do is remove all the gates of entry at the door and allow everybody to feel the full experience. What NFTs should give over a free-to-play asset, just like in any freemium and premium game, is content that you can unlock, for example, or access to certain events that you would not be able to access otherwise. But to be able to have, regardless of whether you own an NFT or not, access to the full game loop, basically. Yeah. So the game is free to play. It's available for anybody on Apple or Google Android or Android device. So you can download the game directly from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and you can jump in right away without having an NFT. Then after, if you wish to do so, you can come into the Web3 loop, if you'd like to say it like that, of the game by owning an NFT. The idea is to also reward players in the future through different events and competitions, so that they can earn NFTs through gamification, and then never have to really leave outside of the app to be able to get the full length of features that we're proposing to our audiences.
That's awesome. So go ahead.
I assume that basically, so with the app or the phone app, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the Web3 side is somewhat hidden from people until they want those features.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not until they want it; it's until they realize what they have in their hands. I think at the end of the day, what we want to offer is an intuitive and fun gameplay. One that you can get carried away in the loop and enjoy yourself and compete against your friends and customize your characters. And then gradually realize that these assets that you're unlocking, or the assets that you own in game, are tradable on the market, just like you would trade marbles at the schoolyard, for example.
Well, and I think that's an important aspect, right? I think that's an important aspect in the Web3 and the whole process of gaming is having the Web3 not be the focal point, right? It's in the back end. The important part is the game itself to attract the users. And gradually, when the users start to play, they're starting to realize that what ownership of these assets are. And the fact is that they can do these other things that lead to Web3 to lead to, oh, I can actually own my dog. I can actually sell my dog or trade it with somebody else. And the path that it leads down, because I think as they start to learn about it, I think people are actually interested in owning their own digital assets at some point.
Yeah, of course. I think it comes down to player motivations.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is what are your motivations to come in app and want to play and spend time in a gaming environment. And what are the, let's say, the largest portion of motivations of players out there in the world? So what we're seeing in Web3 at the moment is a lot of talk about return on investment. You purchased a digital asset, so your expectations are to make a return on investment, which is fine. You know, if you're going to spend time and you're going to be dedicated to it, but that shouldn't be the sole motivation.
I wouldn't say return on investment in some situations. It's return on time. Right? If I go put 20 hours into building up this awesome dog, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this game now. That was fun. It would be nice to sell my dog to somebody else and have somebody else say, hey, I pick up the 20 hours that this person put in, and now I don't have to spend 20 hours on putting time and value into that, training this dog and having these skills. And I know people who played battle games where they spent $5,000 simply because they wanted to compete against their kid, because their kid had the infinite time to put into the game, and for them to compete in the game, they had to drop a whole bunch of money because they didn't have the time.
I have never spent money on Roblox to do that. I'm being sarcastic because I've literally, my wife has been like, did the kids like sneak Roblox money? Like I saw in the bank statement, you like $20 on Roblox, and I was like, no, that was me. you start to, you know, what's funny is there's like when you're playing games like that, it's so there's like a stigma of them being like kids games or whatever, and it takes a moment for you to lean in. And I'm probably an exception that I'm more open than the average person, but like it took a minute to start saying out loud, like, yeah, I play Roblox all the time, because it's like people consider it like a game for 10-year-olds, right?
But you have to take ownership of these things. You know, like I'm a massive collector at heart, so I collect a lot of things. I think for a long time I found refuge and like this how do you call it? Escapism from things in my comic books, my cartoons, and things like that as a kid, which was great. And now this is material that speaks to me. Like if I see a game that I would never play, do a collaboration with Transformers or something like that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to download the game because I like my collector kind of thing is going to come in, and like I'm going to want that skin and that one, and I'm never going to do anything with it. And same goes for like these. I was just in Singapore. I went past this like collector shop, and they had these statues. And I looked at Max, my co-founder. I'm like, look, man, it was like a Gundam like statue. I'm like, man, this has got to go in my office. It's so cool. And he's like, you got to stop, Kris. You got to stop. You're taking it too far. You're 40 years old. Your son is 9. Like you can't be doing this shit anymore. And yeah, but I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's what you hold. It's what you find valuable, and how you're willing to spend the time on it. And if that has value long term somewhere, and it's tradable and it can resell, that comes also with building culture around the items that you're purchasing.
But it's also and it's also though like switching devices or switching games or going between the different categories of things or whatever, right? It's not so singular, right? Like people sit in bed every night and watch stupid TV and play Candy Crush or play Polytopia or Brawl Stars or whatever the popular games are that people are playing, and none of their time will ever come back to them. In this, if you play Dogami, your time won't come back to you either in the same way, but you will feel at least like, hey, I could send this to my kid when I'm done, because they might still be playing. Or when I get a new phone, I'm not going to lose all of the data and information here. I'm going to be able to send it to the thing. Or maybe it is something that you sell later or whatever. But there's also
skin, right? It's that trophy skin that you got in the game, and like, hey, that trophy skin's $1,000 now.
And I don't know. Yeah, maybe that would be great.
Even if other people are going to look at it and go, wait a second, I need to go play this game because I want that skin.
Or even if it's $5 or $10 and you trade it for more stars so you could play the game more instead of watching an ad or doing that, like the things that happen in regular games. Like it's just the tradability and the ability to continue and utilize it in different ways is really the the biggest probably value. Like you're buying time, or you're buying or you're or not, right? But let's aside from the game, we kind of went down the rabbit hole of there's you can collect the NFTs, the DOGA tokens can be used to buy in-game items and all that stuff, but also on the governance of the where everything is going. But you mentioned IP, you mentioned partnerships. Love to hear more about that, and discuss how we, where that's going, and where we can expect to see our dogs, or how we could support the community and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And before I jump into all that, I think, when we were talking about ownership of assets, one of the features that we did implement, which I think is really cool, I use it daily in the family, is the pet sitting feature. So I obviously, being a co-founder of Dogami and a huge fan of it myself, I purchased adopted a lot of virtual companions. So I found myself not being able to play with all my Dogami. So what I did is, like, I sat down with my kids and my wife, and I set them up on their devices. So the iPad and the iPhone, I set them up with their accounts, and I told them, so pick the ones that you want to play with. And so they selected out of my Dogamis all the ones that they wanted to play with. And I'm like, okay. And I could send it directly to their account for them to take care of my Dogami. So that's our pet sitting feature, for example. So from me,
is it like delegated? It's delegated, right? You're not giving them the idea.
Yeah, no. So it's delegated. So when they're doing events and they're earning a lot of hard currency and currencies in the game, I'm getting a cut of that, but I'm providing entertainment to them, right? Because they're my dogs. Anyways.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I could, because I have, I think there's 6 dogs in the app. I think I have more than that, but maybe I think only 4 of them are actual tied to NFTs. The other ones are the ones that came with the app. But I think I have others. I could, if somebody wants me to do this, DM me, and I'll let you pet sit one of my dogs, and you can play with it and see what it's like.
You're all gonna have to walk Alon's dog.
Actually, how much? How much currently is purchasing one of the NFTs? Is there like a roundabout price?
It depends on a lot of factors, but I think if you take the floor price, we're around $45 or $50, I think, for an NFT.
Okay,
I'd have to double check.
That's a little steep to make promises. I was gonna say I'll buy at least 1 or 2 people dogs. I would still do that, but if you want a pet sit, that's an easier sell, because I'm never getting rid of mine, so I'm not gonna send mine because I'm tied to them now, and I've played the app with them and stuff. So
they don't send it. You just delegate it. So
I'm cool with delegating the pet sitting,
and basically you can call back your Dogami whenever you want, which is cool. So cool, I really like that feature. And what's funny is that when you see a pet sitter doing really well with your Dogami, you can view that on the marketplace. So every Dogami that you've sent for pet sitting, you get kind of pet sitting history, and you're like, wow, this guy's like really good.
Does the user get any benefit? Does the user get any benefit of
of course. So basically, you can preset exactly. So you can either put the Dogami available for pet sitting to the public, and you apply the terms. So you say, for example, on all event rewards, they get anything from 10% to, you can even give, I think, 100% of the rewards to the pet sitter. Usually, what you see online is a 50-50. So for the pet sitter and the owner. And you can either send directly to an account, or you can make it available. And what's great is that at the moment, I think there are no pet sitting dogs available, because they've all been grabbed up. So we're finding ourselves in the team having to say, listen, guys, you got to let go of those Dogamis. You got to put some more Dogamis in the pet sitting for the players. But yeah, no, that's a cool social feature.
I got to do that.
That is very cool.
I'll do it, and I'll give the best terms. So keep a lookout.
That's important. That's important. I mean, there was another game that was doing something similar, and I loved it. And then unfortunately, that game completely ruined the mechanics of other things. But it's an awesome feature to have in a game, and I think we see more of that.
Yeah, I think it's great to be able to lend. Plus, it comes at zero cost whatsoever. So no, it's really fun. And to go back to the original question, Alon, sorry, because I kind of went.
I was actually about to go, you know what, before IP, now I got excited about the app again. I was going to have you do the demo, but let's go back. Let's talk about the IP and then we'll do a demo.
We got Ryan wanting to know, how does a user actually delegate? How do they delegate that NFT for pet sitting?
Sure. Well, basically, once you create an account in game, so download the app. You can create an account in game. That's the easiest way to create an account. You'll do it with a social sign-on. What you can do after is go to the website, which is dogami.com. And once you're on the website, you can sign in using the same exactly same game account info. So Google sign in, for example, will work fine. And basically, if you're already an owner of an NFT, you'll see by connecting your wallet on the marketplace that the NFT is there. And all you do is you go on the page of your NFT, which you'll find in My Collection, which is your collection of Dogami. And you have two things that you can do: either put up for sale or make available for pet sitting. So it's very easy. You're 3 clicks away if you're on the marketplace, and you can make your Dogami available for pet sitting. If you don't own a Dogami and you want to pet sit one, it's kind of the same thing. You go into the marketplace, you do your social sign-in with Google, whatever. You go into your game account, and what you can do is pet sit directly a Dogami from the pet sitting tab. So you can go in there and you can start playing the app directly with the NFT at zero cost whatsoever. You'll just be sharing your event rewards with the owner of that NFT.
Can you target a specific person that you want to lend it to, or let?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Basically, you type in the game account name of that person. So all they have to give you is their account name, and you type it in. It will show you the people available under that name, and you pick the right one.
Well, so
and you send over the NFT.
This could be a useful tool too. Also, that if you go to the website, right, and let's say you have that asset in a separate crypto wallet that you don't want associated with your phone, you could then delegate it to your user account on your phone, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. That way, you don't have it on your phone, but you have access to it through that account.
Yeah.
I think that's an awesome tool. I mean, definitely very cool. Very cool to hear about that.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'm trying to debate now if I should have people pitch me why they should babysit my dogs, or if I should just put it up for grabs with like the best terms, like 90%, 10% split.
If you want to get on Alon's good side, maybe walk his dogs for him.
Oh, you train them, you do some competitions. If I name my dog, like I have all the ones, because in one of the more recent updates, you could change the name of your dog, even if it's one of the NFT ones that you couldn't do before. If I name my dog, do the people who pet sit it get that and see that name? And that's okay, cool. So I can name the dog, try to have a famous dog, give the people, 99% of the rewards or something just for the fun of it. And then let it bounce around between the best people or something. And they got to pitch me why they want my dog. But you could try to make a dog like famous, right? You could give it a name that people will recognize on the leaderboards and stuff. And
100%.
I'm behind though.
Tend to see the same ones come up on the leaderboard sometimes, and in first, second, or third position, and you're like, "Ooh, I see you, Oreo. What you doing? You're back up there on the leaderboard again." So yeah, no, that's pretty cool. And the idea is that in the future, the more famous your Dogamis get, the idea is that you can start building, brand recognition around those specific characters, or include them in some of the cross-media stuff. So that's one of the things that we're looking into as well. Most definitely.
Super cool. You know what? We're talking about it a lot. Why don't we? Can I bring the app on screen and have you demo it for us, and then we'll talk more about IP afterwards. But it's just too 100%. fun to not play the game. All right. You want to narrate and tell people what we're looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to make it and keep it real simple, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty stuff. The game loop is really pretty simple. It's adopt your companion, your Dogami, train and increase the different skills, and then participate in events to earn rewards. Now, there's different ways in the meta that we can earn rewards. Some of them are not crypto related, and they're just gaming rewards for your progression, and some are token related. So what I'll do is I just saw that Great Dane here has completed the training, so I'm going to go claim some skill boosts. So what you have under the dogs here are the training section. So you have 6 skills, and they're all allocated to a specific training that you can do. These are all away from keyboards. And when we say away from keyboard, it's basically that the training happens while you're outside of the app. This is so that whenever you come back in the app, there are things to claim and rewards to get, and keep things exciting for you to want to come back into the app itself.
Oh, so there, in a previous version, you would do the training and you would just watch it do the training for 30 seconds or whatever, and then you
exactly yeah, you had like a 5 to 7 second animation that gave you a success ratio. And this is the good thing about doing early access and beta versions that you test with your community, is that given the amount of trainings that you did, these animations weren't watched anymore, and they would just run in the background, and people would just kind of increasingly like tap to skip the animation. So what we did is we removed them completely to leave way to the rewards and to the gamification of that specific meta. So here I completed a rather good version of the training, and I got 2+2 skill points on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Great Dane, I'm going to take him to the track. So as you saw, the skills were all color coded. Everything has a color code, and it's all related to the skills itself. So here we have a track. On the track, we have a dual skill module and single skill modules. And what I can do is I can call in the mystic powers that are associated to my Dogami, which are the power stones. And there's active, passive powers, and there's also relics that are tied to the trainer and not to the Dogami itself. So if I don't want to go quickly and I want to play in a casual mode, I'll just go in autofill. It'll make a selection of stones and relics for me to be able to hit the track. If I'm somebody that's more strategic, I'm going to have visibility on the map, say, okay, there's a little bit of a jump skill here, so I'm going to grab the kangaroo. I see that there's a mixture of swim and might, so I'm going to grab the shark in there as well. And at the end here, I see that there's a little bit of balance, so I'm going to grab a talisman of balance so I can cover for these areas. Then here, what I can do is this is going to give me a specific kind of passive effect on the track itself. So I can choose what skills I want to use in the background, which I'm not going to be activating. So I'm going to grab a might boost, and I'm going to get a little bit of swim warm up for the middle of the track here. And then I can equip a consumable if I want. I can do a multiplicator to multiply my rewards, and I'm going to grab one now so I get more rewards out of this race. So this is PvE mode. So I'm basically challenging the bots in the apps here to get what we say to farm rewards so that I can progress with my different characters. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the powers in the right allocation of the skills that I need. So yeah, I used a little bit of my relic. I'm going to throw in my shark power so I can cover both a bit of swim and both a bit of might. And I'll finish off with my talisman of power here. So we're in an obstacle course racing type of gameplay, where strategy is a large portion of the outcome of the race, plus the action part is going to be us activating the powers that we have selected for our Dogami in the game itself. So I get a bit of XP, I get a little bit of soft currency, which is the stars, that allows me to participate in events, but also buy some materials. I got some materials to upgrade my powers, so I got some minor core, and I got a bit of hard currency here, which are the Nubics that allow me to buy more expensive loot boxes. So now I'm going to spend a bit of what I earned. So here we see we've got a Vega Sphere. This contains some materials to upgrade my powers if I want to be able to boost my Dogami a little bit further. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to buy one of those so I can do some upgrades on the powers of my Dogami. So I got a bit of Forest Core, Fire Core. These are all linked to the skill. So the Thunder Core, again, using the same colors as the Velocity, that's linked to the Velocity. So I got the summary of what I got. I can also, if I want to buy more resources, I can take my game token, which is the Cosmo here, and swap it for hard currency directly in the app. So I'm going to spend a little bit of my token here, and I'm going to get a little bit more hard currency, and that will give me directly some currency that I can spend in the app. And then I can go spend that currency on different things. I've got my training consumables that we've done in partnership with Purina, which are the Purina DOGA snacks. This will increase my success ratio on the training. So I'm going to grab a bit of those because I'm going to need them in a minute. In the consumables as well, I've got some multipliers. This basically multiplies my rewards by a set amount. So I took a plus times 4. So that I can use that after in one of the follow-up events. In my inventory, I've got all my consumables, my materials, and my relics that I'll be using throughout the gameplay. Now I'm going to go to one of my Dogamis. So here we've got Milky Way, a boxer, super cool. I'm going to launch a training on Milky Way while I do other things in the app. So here we have the personalities of the NFTs that come into place. So Milky Way's got 2 personalities, one primary and one secondary. His primary personality is naive, and naive gives him a boost on the success ratio of this training. I'm going to increase that boost by giving him a little bit of a treat, and now my percentage of success on these training has increased. So I'm going to launch that training. It's going to do it in the background while we do other stuff. Now, if I go in the character profiles, here, so I've got Great Dane 2. He's the twin of Great Dane. If I go in the character profiles, I can see if there's any skills or powers that need to be upgraded here. So I see Lychee here. He's got a passive skill that I can upgrade. So here I'm going to use the resources that I've farmed in the PvE. So I see that there's a way to increase the instinct. So I'm going to do an instinct swap here and use my soft currency that I've received. Oh, not enough materials. Oh, no, it's all right. It functioned. All right, I go to events, and this is where I'm going to play against other members of the community. So if I jump in here, let's see. I'm going to have a quick look. What's the reward mechanism here? So here are the prizes. If I come in first, I get 100 Cosmo and some hard currency. And right now in the leaderboard, I can't see the leaderboard until I've participated in this race. I thought I participated. Okay, let's go. So I'm going to give myself an extra boost here and see if we can do well. I launched the event.
So for people who are new to this game, like what's the most important characteristic to look for in their dog if they're shopping for a dog?
It's really difficult to say. I mean, one of the things that are kind of important and that should be kept into mind is the rarity tiers. So you have different rarity tiers for the NFTs that give you a rank increase on your skills, which are the basic stats that you have in each one of the different skills.
Gotcha.
And depending on, oh, wow, not bad. I'm third here. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm third and first.
Yeah, I was about to say you're first.
I had competed with Pisco before. That's why Pisco's in first place. Oh my God, the community is going to be a bit angry that I'm taking two spots off the leaderboard right now. Yeah.
I have a question for you, and it's very cool because I kind of was playing in between while you were doing it, and this is the first time I'm playing since you added some of the extra features. One, it was super cool that I got rewards other than stars. Also, I got the like a snack one of the times that I won and stuff. But I went to the events on the time trials, and it said the event wasn't available for this dog.
It depends on the level. So now the events are limited to level 10 and over Dogamis. This is for you to be able to familiarize yourself with the different skills and how they function, because you unlock the different powers on your Dogami progressively. So you get to a point at level 10 where you have enough of your powers unlocked to be able to compete against other Dogamis. And it also stops people from locking their Dogamis in specific levels and not progressing so that they can lead that specific league, and also offers more distribution of rewards to higher level dogs as well. So the idea is that you open up to being able to participate in events. I'm super sorry. I think I've got my youngest playtesters at the door ringing, so I'm just gonna open for my kids.
Go.
And I'll be back.
No worries. This is super fun. So I'm like playing it right now, and I actually just in the App Store got some of these. I just paid a few bucks to speed up my training on this dog because I want to upgrade him to get to level 10. So I'm paying.
Now you can just delegate to your kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Although they don't have their own devices because we're strict on screen time and stuff. But that's exactly it.
So we do not promote child labor. So do not think that you can start reaping rewards off of your kids just playing your game for you by buying them.
Speak for yourself.
Right.
It's a different way of seeing chores, right?
Yeah. Hey, well, my kids don't do a whole lot for chores anyway, so maybe they'll at least do this.
Yeah, no, so yeah, we've got plenty of things that are coming up, which we're really excited about. What we needed was really to release this version of the app for us to be able to scale, and we're finally in that sweet spot that allows us to do that. So there's a few features, if you check there, Alon, that you can't access right away. There's the missions, which is going to bring daily and weekly quests, which also are there for you to be able to explore all the kind of meta of the app itself. A mission could be give your Dogami a name. It could be participate in events and use 3 jump relics 5 times, or participate in multiple events with the same Dogami, or activate a swim, whatever it is, on a weekly and daily basis, which allows you to unlock new stuff. And in the events, we put something in place which is really cool, which is a scalable event system. Basically, it's a technical word to say we're going to be able to do events with partners. So like you might have seen in the app, we've got this ongoing partnership with Purina, where we've got the Purina DOGA snacks. And what we're going to do is we're going to activate partnerships with part of their portfolio of brands. So the idea here is not only to reward players with digital assets, but also reward them with in real life products as well. Also, they have a lot of apps, companies that run apps on pet education or things like that, in which we're going to be able to offer premium memberships to those. So the idea is to reap rewards through gamification across different types of markets and businesses. And
I wasn't paying attention. I was just I was playing the game and getting first place. I'm just kidding. I was paying attention, but I was waiting I was waiting for the best moment to interrupt you to make my dumb joke. Great.
Yeah. So
super fun. The updates have been really killer.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I think the community has received it well, and it's the first real brick that allows us now to scale the game, and to allow anybody to play without having this kind of barrier of entry. One of the cool things that is coming, I think first week of December, if everything goes well, is our battle pass. Now, the battle pass takes this to a whole different level, because where we've had progression that was specifically on the Dogami, the progression in the battle pass is on the trainer. So you can use all your armada of Dogamis and use them in different events for you to be able to climb a progression ladder that both has freemium and premium content around a specific topic. And the first one is going to be on the pyramids of Giza, because it's very core to the universe. And if you look at the brand identity and let's say the symbolism in the scales and all these things, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear.
You can hear it a little bit. It's all good. It's all good.
And that comes with more than 100 different pieces of customization. So that means we open up customization as well, which is going to be really, really, really fun. This allows you to really shine your personality through your avatars as well. There's loads of different ways that you can combine that cosmetic as well. So it's not just applying a skin and everybody ends up looking the same because everybody's wearing the same skin because they think it's the coolest. It's combining different slots of customization on the dogs with different elements from different everything from tattoos to auras to skins to colors to wearables. So that's going to be cool, because then it's you want to be able to show that off, and you want to get feedback from other players, and you want to be able to give feedback to the players that you find are cool as well. So it bridges that gap in the community even more, and opens up then to partnerships on that place as well. So the idea is that next year, ideally, we would like to be able to do 3 to 4 battle passes and have at least 2 of those be with partners. So bringing in IPs to take over some parts of the environment, and have other IPs for all the cosmetics, and bring in a part of narrative in that battle pass specifically. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. So this is really ground zero now, and we're going to take things to the next level.
I love it. So, we've hit so many things, and we're actually like out of time. So we're going to have to like have you come back, play the game more, have some fun with the community. But before we finish off, is there any last minute things? We just talked high level of IP, anything to look out for, anything we want to talk about? It looks like Coop has been in the chat. I haven't been throwing all of his messages in here, but Coop, when you create an account, DM me, and I'll send you one of my dogs to babysit, for sure. And let's have some fun. Maybe have you on, Coop, because we need to have you on soon anyway, and we could play some of these games together or talk about them. But Kris, any last minute things we should discuss? Obviously, everybody follow Dogami on Twitter at Dogami. Go to their website. Go check out the marketplace and all that stuff. The app, of course, that we've been showing. But anything else we should talk about that we missed, or that we need to remind the community about?
No, I think, listen, at the end of the day, what we want to do is provide everybody with a little bit of fun and good times. And we've developed what I think is really cool on-the-go entertainment. So come try it out. You don't have to pay anything. Come play, and we hope to see you become new members of the community and one of the top trainers of the academy. So we'll be waiting for you in DOGAMÍ Academy.
Heck yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone who joined. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a lot of you in here, so I appreciate all you guys joining. If you're watching not live, we do these live every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's like 90% of the time is when we do it. Actually, next week, Rankin, I'm going to be offline at this time, so you're flying solo, or wow, you're just playing Dogami for an hour.
No, we have another guest.
Okay, we'll discuss it. But anybody who isn't joining live, join us live next time, so you could ask questions, you could participate. Anybody who is an entrepreneur or an investor, you want to get more involved in the blockchain space, you want to pitch to us or work with us, go to dgb.vc. I forgot to throw this up at the beginning, or follow us on all the places so that you see when we go live. And let's connect. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Kris. We're gonna have you back soon, and we're gonna hang more.
Thanks, Alon. Thanks, David.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Have a good day.